I think the first trend is just how massive this conference has become. This thing started as a small mobile conference, and you just see more and more players coming into the conference, bigger and bigger presence, and it just shows how important mobile is to every company, right? A lot of companies here are mobile only. You're also starting to see a few companies start to come that are not mobile only companies. I think it's really interesting, just people realizing mobile, is their business, and this is a central place to really kind of grow that in the ecosystem. I'd say the second thing I'm starting to notice is just this major push as things move into mobile from an ad tech perspective, really starting to see more and more attribution companies come to play, companies that can really show the value of mobile. I think it's really a great move for mobile, right? Because as it starts to double and triple again, it needs to show brands the value of what it's doing. And that's why, for years there's been lots of trouble in tracking. You're now starting to see some of these companies come to play, Has Offers, for example, and just their presence here and how they're able to do a good job of showing lifetime value for the customer. I think, we're going to see that just grow even more over the next few years, which is great for the ecosystem overall and great for brands. I think in native, it's actually interesting. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it, but we're not yet quite seeing kind of the formal technology solutions yet rolled out. And I think that, one of my hypotheses for the year is that in the next 6 months, you're going to see some of that roll out. We're going to have a major announcement here in a few weeks about our native solution, which we think will be really interesting. Basically if you look at what Facebook did, right, for over the last 6 months, their stock doubled, and it doubled because they rolled out, not a square banner, but a native unit that really works for mobile. And I think that what we're going to do is roll something out similar, but for various publishers around the world, to kind of mimic what Facebook has done without having to build their own native solution kind of in-stream while you're looking at an article. So excited about that. So I think, but not just us, I think you're hearing a lot of talk about it, people realizing it's really important, but I look forward to the next 3 to 6 months, a few more technology solutions that can really scale, right? Today it's still kind of one-off things where clients can't really scale globally, mass distribution from a marketing or from a publisher perspective. If you look around, most of the companies here, probably 95% are mobile-only companies. They're companies that don't really have a desktop presence. And while their advantage in that space is that all they do is mobile, what we actually have is this kind of unique perspective to talk to a brand manager or an agency and understand their goals across every device. One of the things we talk about is that, a brand, someone who's controlling a brand, they don't wake up in the morning and say, I need to advertise on iPhones, right? They say, I need to speak better to moms, or I need to work better to the teen audience. And, so from our perspective, we just see a user, and we see a user across multiple devices, and we see ad technology that can work across multiple devices. So, when we come in to talk to a brand about mobile, one of the first things I say is, look, we just want to help your brand out. And actually, we don't really care what device it happens to be on. It just so happens mobile is almost 50% of global impressions, right? So you better have a strategy that runs across all devices. But we don't really have a horse in the race. We don't care if desktop works better for you. Some of our tax clients, we actually see some of their best performances on desktop. That's great. For some of our carrier clients, the telcos of the world, we see that mobile works really well from a performance perspective. Doesn't really matter, right? That's kind of our approach is we don't really care about the device. We care about just driving performance across all devices. If you haven't been to Barcelona yet to this conference, even people who aren't in mobile roles, you just have to be here. Walk the floor, go to some of the parties. Just the depth of the conversations. The people here are going to become the leaders in not just mobile. These are the leaders in business going forward. And it's pretty awesome to see kind of the step the people here are taking. And if you haven't been, next year, you got to come to Barcelona, just kind of experience it. It's also a beautiful city, so great place to be.